1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The United Nations Secretary General has called for respecting human rights in occupied Kashmir and elsewhere in the world. In occupied Kashmir, the Indian police have arrested senior Hurriyat leaders Ghulam Muhammad Khan Sopori and Shabbir Ahmad Dar in Baramulla. The government has decided to launch a new tax campaign across the country to improve tax collection. Anti-polio campaign of varied durations will be launched in various parts of the country from tomorrow. Saudi Arabia has reaffirmed support for a political solution to the Yemen crisis. The final of the Kabaddi World Cup 2020 is being played between Pakistan and India in Lahore this evening. And now the news in detail. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has emphasized the absolute need for human rights to be fully respected in occupied Kashmir and elsewhere in the world. He stated this while responding to a question regarding Kashmir after addressing a conference about climate change in Islamabad this afternoon. Antonio Guterres said he has always been advocating the need for enhanced dialogue between Pakistan and India and even offered his good offices more than once. He said good offices can be offered if both the countries agree to it. The United Nations Secretary General said two reports presented by the UNHCR on the situation in occupied Kashmir showed the solid contributions for that, and those reports are very important in clarifying the situation. Answering a question regarding water sharing agreement between India and Pakistan, the United Nations Secretary General said with effective dialogue this problem can be solved. Earlier addressing a conference on climate change, Antonio Guterres said addressing challenges and threats of climate change is a common responsibility of all global partners. He underlined the need to step up actions to achieve goals of climate change and sustainable development. The United Nations Secretary General said goals of global peace and prosperity are linked to alleviation of poverty, inequality, and hunger. In her address, the Minister of State for Climate Change, Zartaj Gul, said the government has taken concrete measures to address challenges of climate change. In his address, the advisor to the Prime Minister on climate change, Malik Amin Aslam, said Pakistan is the fifth most vulnerable country, which suffers the most from climate-related disasters in the long term. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has arrived at the Foreign Office in Islamabad. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi received and welcomed the distinguished guest. The UN Secretary General planted a sapling in the lawns of the Foreign Office. In occupied Kashmir, the Indian police arrested senior Hurriyat leaders Ghulam Muhammad Khan Sopori and Shabbir Ahmad Dar, along with several activists in Baramulla district. According to Kashmir Media Service, the arrests were made during police raids on their houses in Sopore. Media reports have confirmed that Indian paramilitary and Central Reserve Police Force have started using drones during coordinated search operations in occupied Kashmir. Meanwhile, the Indian authorities did not allow a conference on Kashmir in Srinagar, in which senior Congress leader Mani Shankar Iyer was invited to participate as chief guest. The government has decided to launch a new tax campaign across the country to improve tax collection system. In the first phase, the drive will be started from Sialkot and will be extended to other parts of the country. Under the drive, all development projects will be named after top taxpayers, and they will also inaugurate development projects at the local level. The campaign will be run in collaboration with the Federal Board of Revenue and NADRA, and these institutions will identify taxpayers at the village and street levels. An anti-polio campaign of varied durations will be launched in various parts of the country from tomorrow. In the Punjab, around 20 million children under 5 years of age will be vaccinated in 33 districts of the province. In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, anti-polio vaccine will be administered to 6.7 million children up to 5 years of age during the 3-day campaign. More than 28,000 teams have been constituted for the purpose. In Balochistan, more than 10,000 mobile teams have been constituted for the campaign to administer anti-polio drops to over 2.4 million children up to 5 years of age. In Gilgit, over 50,000 children will be administered anti-polio vaccine during 5-day campaign. Over 200 teams will take part in the drive. Tight security measures have been taken for the security of the polio teams. In Azad Jammu and Kashmir, 5-day polio eradication drive will commence from tomorrow, in which more than 700,000 children will be administered anti-polio vaccine. The Health Department's spokesperson said at least 63 zonal supervisors will look after the campaign conducted by 481 in charges of different areas of Azad Jammu and Kashmir. This is Radio Pakistan. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf has announced a 3-day mourning over the sad demise of senior party leader Naeem ul-Haq. In a statement, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Central Vice President Zahid Hussain said the party has decided to postpone all its political activities for 3 days. Funeral prayers of Naeem ul-Haq were offered in Karachi this afternoon. The Special Assistant to the Prime Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Dr. Firdaus Ashiq Awan, visited the residence of the deceased senior PTI leader Naeem ul-Haq in Karachi today and expressed her condolences to the bereaved family. Accompanied by other Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf leaders, the Special Assistant paid her respects and prayed for the departed soul, and also prayed for the family to have the courage to bear this irreparable loss. Later talking to the media, Dr. Firdaus Ashiq Awan said Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf has great respect and admiration for the services of late Naeem ul-Haq. In a tweet, Dr. Firdaus Ashiq Awan said special prayers will be held for Prime Minister's long-standing companion and founding member of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Naeem ul-Haq at the Prime Minister's house tomorrow. She said it will be attended by Prime Minister Imran Khan, federal ministers, advisors and party members. Family members of the deceased Naeem ul-Haq will also be present on the occasion. Saudi Arabia has reaffirmed to support a political solution in Yemen. Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan bin Abdullah, while speaking at the Munich Security Conference, expressed the hope that Houthis would put the interests of Yemen first. He said the kingdom has a vision of 2030, with which it is proceeding for the benefit of the economy and improving the quality of life. In Syria, hundreds of thousands of civilians who are trapped in Idlib province due to multi-front offensive of the regime forces are facing an imminent humanitarian disaster. Around 1 million people have been moving towards the Turkish border, which is already hosting over 3.6 million Syrian refugees. A Turkish delegation will travel to Russia tomorrow to discuss the situation in Idlib province. The Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu, speaking at the Munich Security Conference, said 2 million people could head for Turkey's border with Syria if no ceasefire is achieved. In Afghanistan, unidentified gunmen killed 9 homeless drug users when they were asleep in an open area in the capital, Kabul. The police say they are investigating the incident. Kabaddi. The final of the Kabaddi World Cup 2020 is being played between Pakistan and India at the Punjab Stadium in Lahore this evening. The match will start at 1900 hours Pakistan Standard Time. For the third position, Iran beat Australia today. And finally, the weather. Mainly dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 24 hours. However, rain thunderstorms are expected at a few places in Gilgit-Baltistan and Kashmir. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News.